All right, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to a very brief and special episode of VMFC. We are through the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. Friday and Saturday we had games. It never happens that we have games, Champions League games on Fridays, but we did today. We did this weekend, and we will next weekend. And today I just want to talk about what happened in these last games that we had for the round of 16. On Friday, we had Manchester City against Real Madrid. And let me just check my levels really quick because I don't have any headphones. I don't feel like using headphones. It would kind of take away from the whole vision. No, not vision. Like the whole visual. There you go. The whole visual of this video. But anyway. We had Manchester City and Real Madrid. Manchester City was up 2-1. They went into the Bernabeu and they scored 2 after they were down 1-0. And they brought that lead to the Etihad. And that was a very, very long time that they had to wait in order to play that second leg. Real Madrid had a big disadvantage. Sergio Ramos was not going to play. He was suspended. He got a red card in the first leg. And I think yesterday, in case we needed any more validation about Sergio Ramos, yesterday showed that Sergio Ramos is literally the entire balance for that Real Madrid defense. Rafael Varane made a lot of mistakes, and it sucks because he's been one of the more stable and consistent defenders in world football for these last few years. He started in all 7 games that France played in the 2018 World Cup. So that just goes to show how consistent he has been. And I remember in the beginning of his career, he had quite a lot of injuries. He wasn't getting many minutes, but suddenly he just became a world beater. And he made 2 terrible, just absolutely atrocious mistakes against Manchester City, a team that you definitely do not want to make mistakes against. And he did. And he had to pay for it. And he did. He owned up to it. Real Madrid is out of the Champions League. Second consecutive season that they are out in the round of 16. Ajax was the team that victimized them last season. And this season it was Manchester City. Manchester City, I think we do have to mention, they didn't do much throughout the entire series, both first and second legs. In the second leg, it just felt like it was Real Madrid that was holding them back. They weren't forcing Manchester City to do much. Real Madrid was kind of waiting to counter, but Manchester City wasn't too insisting of attacking and potentially getting a goal. So it was it was just a very weird series. I mean, this whole season has been incredibly weird, but it was a very weird series between Manchester City and Real Madrid. And then, of course, those 2 mistakes by Varane, a guy that very rarely makes any mistakes. If anything, he's on the highlight reel for defending very well. But, it happens to the best of them. Now Real Madrid is out and Manchester City is ahead, is through. So Manchester City now has a big advantage. They got rid of one of the favorites to win it all. They got rid of one of the favorites. And now they have a clear path, potentially maybe to a final. Who knows? It's gonna be fun to watch Manchester City's journey throughout the remainder of this Champions League season. Then at the same time on Friday we had Juventus and Lyon. This was a surprise to absolutely everyone, especially because how that game started. Lyon started winning that game 1-0. Memphis Depay, cold-blooded, chipped a penalty right down the middle. Wojciech Szczesny had absolutely no clue that was coming. He dived or dove, however you say that, the wrong way, of course, because most goalkeepers do. It's hard to predict the penalty, but Depay, cold-blooded, in a direct elimination game against one of the favorites to win the tournament, does that 1-0, and then Cristiano Ronaldo does what Cristiano Ronaldo usually does in a knockout game in the Champions League. He scores 2 goals, still wasn't enough. Juventus goes out of the Champions League on away goals, and it's actually insane because their manager, or former manager now, Mauricio Sarri, was sacked the day after. So I'm recording this on Saturday. Today he was sacked as manager of Juventus, which is absolutely incredible because just last week he was celebrating his first ever Serie A title, and now today he is unemployed. Incredible. cutthroat business to the max. Juventus is a team that is built to win the Champions League. They've been very unlucky. They've been to 2 finals. They lost both of them. They've had just crushing, devastating losses to Real Madrid, for example, in the round of, it was quarterfinals in the 17-18 season. So they've had some just major heartbreaks in these last few Champions League seasons, and you add one more to the list of heartbreaks for Juventus. Now their manager is Andrea Pirlo. He became the manager of the U23 side back late July, so about last week he became the manager, and now he's the manager of the senior team, which is absolutely incredible. Is he ready? Who knows? But props to the higher ups at Juventus who are taking that massive risk and appointing a manager that has absolutely no experience in the pros. As a player, he does, one of the best players, one of the best midfielders, one of the most elegant midfielders of all time. But as a manager, which is the role that he's fulfilling now, we don't know. We still don't know what to expect. It's going to be a roller coaster for Juventus. This could be the beginning of something great, something even greater. I don't know. How is that even possible? No clue. But Juventus is looking to build for the future. Today, Saturday, the day that I am recording, we had Barcelona against Napoli and we had Bayern against Chelsea. Let's start off with Bayern and Chelsea. Robert Lewandowski scored a hat-trick. He is very upset that there's no Ballon d'Or ceremony for the 2020 year. He was poised to probably win it and break that. Well, actually, Luka Modric broke that duel between Messi and Ronaldo, but Lewandowski wanted to be a guy that won it in the middle of the Messi Ronaldo era. He was poised to do it. He won. He's a guy that just scores for fun, doesn't he? He was I believe 2 goals behind Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema. There we go. Karim Benzema. They call him Mercedes Benzema. Shout out to BR Football Ranks. Benzema was 2 goals ahead in the all-time leading goal scorer list in the Champions League. Tonight, Robert Lewandowski is a goal ahead of Benzema because of his hat trick. I've been saying this for like the last 3-4 months. Bayern Munich is the best team in Europe, no doubt about it. These guys are well coached. They know what they're playing for. They know what they have to play like. They have a great idea of the system, and everyone seems to be on board. Whoever isn't on board is getting shipped out. That's how Bayern works. Hansi Flick and Bayern Munich, the perfect marriage. It's working out perfectly. I mean, these guys have already won the Bundesliga. They won the Pokal, and now they're looking to win the Champions League, and it's very, very likely. So Bayern Munich, it looks like this is the season where Bayern Munich gets to win the Champions League. There's really not much more to say about that game other than, well, Bayern Munich scored another 4. And Chelsea was only able to get 1 when they were supposed to get 3. Of course, assuming that Bayern wasn't going to score. But it is what it is. It happens. It happens, especially against the best team in Europe. Not much more to say about that. Now, the other game, Barcelona and Napoli. Very interesting because I saw, everyone saw this, I'm sure. Napoli came out guns blazing. They had Barcelona on their own half of the pitch. They weren't letting them pass the ball. It was Napoli playing like Barcelona would usually play, keeping the possession, creating opportunities, and making their opponents as uncomfortable as possible, keeping that ball away from them as long as they possibly could. But then it just fizzled out. It became something where Barcelona had one opportunity. They got a corner and they scored. Granted, there was quite a bit of controversy. There was a bit of a push-off by Langley, who ended up scoring the goal. They went to VAR. They checked it. They saw nothing, which we'll talk about VAR in a little bit. And then Messi, for the second goal, just does Messi things. He takes on a few defenders, falls over, gains his balance, doesn't even get really back on his feet. He kind of just gets set to shoot, curls the ball in. David Ospina gets a hand to it, not enough. off the crossbar and in. I mean, it was off the upright. The crossbar is the one that off the upright, and it goes in. Truly one of those goals that you see and you're surprised, but once it hits you, you're like, that's Lionel Messi. We expect it from him. And then, yeah, sure enough, they get a penalty off of another controversial play. This game was just weird. It was weird from the beginning all the way to the end. Barcelona got a penalty, and Luis Suarez took it because Messi was still kind of hurting. Luis Suarez didn't miss from the spot. Scores his first goal in God knows how long. But Barcelona still with a lot of doubts defensively, very slow, very sluggish defensively. They're not the best team. And whenever Messi isn't showing up, whenever Messi isn't the point of attention, whenever he's not taking the game into his own hands and making things happen by himself, Barcelona struggles. Barcelona struggles to finish any opportunity that they may have, or even to create any opportunities. Barcelona struggles, and that is still a big, big concern for the Blaugranas, especially when on Friday they face Bayern Munich, which is a team that I think you guys are probably getting bored of me saying this, but this is the best team in Europe. This is the best working team in Europe. This is the best playing team in Europe. So when you rely so much on one player against a team that is literally a well-oiled machine, then it's going to be very, very impossible. And if Napoli gave you all these incredibly, I don't even know, like just childish problems, then it only makes sense to assume that Bayern Munich is going to give you even more issues when they play. And there was a point being made throughout the broadcast that Barcelona was struggling in the air against guys that are like 5'2", 5'3". So now just imagine how they're going to struggle against Thomas Müller, against Lewandowski. They're going to struggle a lot, especially with these crosses by Alphonso Davies. Kimmich, he gets some crosses in from midfield, or Pavard, whoever's playing out on that right flank. So it's going to be quite difficult for Barcelona, and they really don't show much promise. They got the win, and that's great, but they haven't been playing well, and I would argue for years they haven't been playing well. And who knows? This might even be Quique Setien's last game as a Barca manager on Friday, should he lose against Bayern Munich. So now the stage is set for the quarterfinals. If I'm not mistaken, these games begin on Wednesday. We have Atalanta against PSG. People really think that Atalanta is an easy out for PSG. They have not watched Atalanta. This team has scored 90-something goals all season. This team is a goal-scoring machine. Sure, they'll beat you 5-3, but they're going to score 5 on you. They don't care. That's how they are, Atalanta and PSG. I still would give the edge to PSG, but I don't know. You got to be very careful with this Atalanta side. They scored 8 total against Valencia. So that's definitely something that you have to be very concerned about if you are a PSG fan, PSG player, or even if you are Thomas Tuchel, the PSG manager. On Thursday, we have RB Leipzig against Atletico Madrid. RB Leipzig, a team that it took them a while to get back into rhythm after the hiatus, and it just now they're not going to have Timo Werner, so that's going to be a very big loss for RB Leipzig against a team like Atletico Madrid, who I said a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, I said that this is a team that we should not sleep on, especially in a situation like this one, where it's a one-off. It's one game, win or go home. That's essentially what it is. I don't think RB Leipzig has that. They don't have that experience. Atletico Madrid does. They've been to 2 Champions League finals since 2014. They won a Europa League in 2018. So they know what it's like to play these types of games. They know exactly what it's like to prepare for these types of games. So I heavily favor Atletico Madrid in this one. I think that RB Leipzig is going to get very frustrated, And surely, I mean, it's just going to be one of those games where it's only going to take a couple attacks for Atletico to score and finish off RB Leipzig. And then on Friday, I kind of touched on that a little bit. I touched on that game between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I heard Hristo Stoichkov, Bulgarian legend, say that Barcelona is the favorite going into this game. Shout out Stephen A. Smith. Blasphemous. How can you say that Barcelona is favored over Bayern Munich when Barcelona has no system, when Barcelona depends on one player compared to Bayern Munich, who, I hate to sound like a broken record, but plays like the best team in Europe? Some people are still not convinced. I've seen people on Twitter not think that Bayern Munich is the best team in Europe. They are indeed the best team in Europe, and they are the favorites to win the Champions League. There are no two opinions about that. On paper, they are the best team and the favorite to win the Champions League. So the fact that some people, Hristo Stoichkov, think that Barcelona is the favorite, guys, I mean, open your eyes. I know you played for the club. I know you played for Barcelona, but you cannot favor Barcelona in this game. They are a heavy underdog, a heavy underdog. And the only reason why I give this Barcelona team, any chance going into Friday is because they have Lionel Messi. That is it. Luis Suarez is not the same player. Antoine Griezmann still looks lost in this team. The midfield is still a bit of a mess. Sergio Busquets was in there, and it showed that he is the balance for this team. He is the balance in that midfield. Frankie de Jong can't provide that same stability. He's only been there for a year. You can't rely so much on him. Ivan Rakitic is more of an attacking player. Sergio Roberto is now more of a right back than he is a central midfielder. So this Barcelona team is clearly going to play this game on Friday with a big disadvantage. They're not the favorites, but I do have to mention this. I have to be fair. Sergio Busquets is coming back. So is Arturo Vidal, both from suspension. They are coming back on Friday. But still, I think Bayern Munich is the favorite to win this game. And then we have Manchester City against Lyon. Let's be honest here. I think that Lyon did catch a bit of a break. Usually when you go through on away goals, you do catch a bit of a break. It doesn't happen always that you advance on away goals and then you suddenly become the champion. Usually the next round is where you kind of get caught by a team that's a little better than you and a little bit more prepared. I heavily favor Manchester City going into this game, which is on my birthday, by the way. Happy early birthday to me, August 15th. I think Manchester City is the favorite to win this game. No doubt about it. Lyon can prepare as much as they want and build that solid back line of five. But eventually, I don't know what the word is on Aguero. I'm not sure. But I do think that Sergio Aguero might travel with the team. I'm not sure. No Sergio Aguero, no problem. Okay, no, never mind. I'm reading something from yesterday. Let's see. This is from 3 hours ago as I'm recording. This is going to go up on Sunday. All right, and this is from Sports Illustrated, so I'm going to read it to you guys. Sergio Aguero is set to miss the clash with Olympique Lyon on August 15. All right, well, that's all I had to read. No Sergio Aguero, no problem. Gabriel Jesus is there. Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, David Silva, who we thought had played the last game as a Manchester City player. He played his last game as a Manchester City player in the Premier League. That's what he meant. We should have known. we really should have known. Bernardo Silva is still there too. So Manchester City has a lot of attacking power, and I think that it's going to be way too much for Lyon. Again, I don't know much about Lyon. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I've watched them all season and that they're such a great team and that I like how they do this and I like how they do that and this and that. That's not what I'm going to do because I frankly have not sat down to watch a Lyon game other than yesterday against Juventus, and I only watched a little bit, but I assume that's probably how they're going to play against any other team. So you can't really play different if that's what worked and you are at a severe disadvantage in squad depth against every other team that you're going to face. So yeah, that's a bit of a tiny preview for for the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. We have Europa League games as well, and their Wolverhampton against Sevilla is the game that is the most attractive. Sevilla, of course, we know that they did the three-peat, 2014, 2015, and 2016. They won the Europa League with Mr. Good Evening himself, Unai Emery, at the helm. And Wolverhampton, a team that wants to establish themselves as a European I don't want to say elite because they're not playing in the Champions League, but they do want to be one of those teams that is always Europa League or a little better. So, yeah, and they missed out on qualifying to the Europa League through the Premier League. They missed out literally in the last day of the Premier League season, of this last Premier League season. They missed out. So the only way that they can play European football next season is if they win the Europa League in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, we have that. Let me talk about VAR really quick. We're at 20-something minutes, 21, 20, something like that. I want to talk about VAR, the utter disaster that VAR is. And I tweeted this when the game was going on. I said that the technology is good. The people that are using it are absolutely inept, and that is the problem. The problem isn't the technology. The technology is there to help us. If us as humans, we don't know how to use the technology to help us, well then I don't even know what to say. Some of the calls that I saw specifically, and I know they probably happened in other games and I just don't remember because of recency bias. Of course, I remember what happened here in this Barcelona game. The first goal, I talked about it a little bit. Clement Lenglet clearly pushes away one of the defenders who bumps into Koulibaly, and then Koulibaly falls over and just gives Clement Lenglet a clean, clear shot on goal, and he just headers it home. That wasn't supposed to count. I'm sorry, that's not supposed to count. That is supposed to be a foul and maybe even a yellow card for Clement Lenglet, or maybe not. It was a little bit early in the game. I would have probably just called it a foul and attack, and I would have continued with the game. Should I have been in the VAR booth or as the referee? The second call, what would have been Messi's second goal. There actually was a foul before that whole sequence with the cross, and Messi chests it down and then scores the goal. But that could have been called a foul too. But what was actually being looked at, and it took ages, was that handball. Messi clearly chests, or I mean, it kind of hits like his stomach. It doesn't hit so much his chest. It doesn't hit his hand. There's no clear view. There's no clear shot of the ball hitting his hand. Usually when the ball hits someone's hand or any other extremity, you can tell because the momentum of the ball shifts. It changes the course of the movement of the ball. It doesn't go the same way. Like for example, if I chest the ball down and as I chest it down, it hits my hand, it's going to go a different way. Whereas if I were to just chest it down, it would hit my chest and then it would probably just, fall down. And that's what happened. Messi just chested down and it went to the ground. He took a touch and then he scored the goal. So that was clearly not a handball. And the ref, I guess he felt bad for the first one. And he's like, all right, well, let's just not give them this goal. And then in the penalty, first of all, we were promised that when VAR was implemented, it was not going to affect the time of game. The game was going to remain fluent. The game was going to remain quick because this is what soccer football is. It's a quick-paced game. You don't have timeouts. You don't stop the clock for when the ball goes out of bounds. It doesn't happen. The time just keeps on going. It's a quick-moving game. And when you, the referee, take 8 minutes to make a decision whether it was a foul, an attack, or a penalty, you are going against the initial rule, that initial thought that we had that VAR was not supposed to slow down the game. We lost 8 minutes in that whole sequence from the foul or whatever you want to call it to the actual celebration of the goal when right after they called the penalty or right after they gave that penalty. 3 incredibly bad calls, 3 terrible ways of using VAR, and this, my friends, is a reason why I believe VAR should be not eradicated. I don't think VAR is at fault. The technology itself is not at fault. The people using it need a crash course on how to actually use it. Again, I talked a little bit about the pace of the game slowing down. If you're going to slow down the game, you might as well just take a look at what they do in the NFL with the replays. It's a little bit more... I want to say it's a little bit more fair. Maybe some of my football people will not agree much with it, but at least whenever the play is under review, the referee actually goes and sees the play. Same thing in the NBA. The ref goes and he sees the play on the screen. He doesn't just tuck his earpiece in and tries to listen to whatever the guys up top are seeing. It's just simply it's not fair. It's not fair for the players, of course. It's not fair for the fans who just get to sit there for 8 minutes at a time, just wondering what the hell happened. It's not cool. I don't like it, but it is what it is. This is the new world that we live in. I do think that there has to be a lot of thinking to do with VAR. And now they were saying that it won't be implemented in the group stage of the Champions League next season. It'll only be used in knockout stages. Well, that just shows me that they don't like what VAR has been doing in the last couple of years. All right. Anyway, that'll do it for me. I don't know when you're going to hear from me again. It might be at a similar time. Well, it's not. I'm not going to record anything on the weekend. It'll probably be before the semifinals. I'll probably run down the quarterfinals really quick if I get to watch like the last 2 games. I should. And then we'll break down the semifinals. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I said it was going to be a quick episode. We're almost at 30 minutes. All right, that'll do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at AlexPerezFC. I hope you all enjoyed the Champions League games. It was very fun to have Champions League back. And these games were intense. I didn't think I would enjoy them without any fans, but they were intense. They are direct elimination games after all. All right, take care. Goodbye.